All right, so Kalaya, this is you had some problems with the quizzes of the lesson quiz, and there were two of them. One was 7-4. The other one was the quiz that we took on 7-1 through 7-3. Thank you for turning in all that missing work. A lot of it was good quality, but these two things you had some issues with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some instruction on it, and then I would like you to just correct this, and I'll email you the PDF file so you can just correct it on that and email it back to me, and I will change your grade. So the first problem you had was question 1, and it was they wanted you to find the they wanted you to find the slope of the green line, and you put -1/5. So the all I'm going to say about that is, remember, when you have a negative slope, your line should be going down. This line is not going down, so that was the problem. The second problem, they wanted you to express the ratio, write the ratio expressing the slope of the red line in simplest form. And the key word there is simplest form. Your answer for this problem was -2/8. But that fraction is not simplest form. All right, so on this problem, it's a little more tricky. So you're going to have x minus 2 over 4 equals 9 over x minus 2. Now, I can't really see your work on Schoology for a problem like this unless we submitted a picture or something, so I don't really know what your mistake was. But when I cross multiply, I'm going to have x minus 2 times x minus 2 equals 36. Remember, this is x minus 2 times itself, that's squared, is 36. The trick here then is to take the square root of both sides. So at the next part, and that's the key to solving it, the square root of a squared x is going to be itself. So this is x minus 2 equals, now when you have a square root of x squared at any point, in this even x minus 2 squared, you're going to get how many answers? 2. And so there are two possibilities here. One is going to be that it's 6, the other that it's going to be -6. Okay? And so then I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and so I'm going to have the answer x is 8, or x is -6 plus 2, which would be -4. Right? So because I had to show, I showed you the whole thing really for this one. I'm going to ask you to solve a different one. So the problem I want you to solve, I'm going to write in blue. And so I'm going to say that you have this proportion. X minus 3 over 5 equals 5 over x minus 3. So I'd like you to solve that problem, and you should come up with 2 answers. This problem is very much like the last one, except for it's a little simpler, right? So you're going to cross multiply, and you should get 2 answers. One's going to be a positive answer, one's going to be a negative answer. I'm not going to show any more for this because the last problem is just like it, except for, the last one was a little bit harder. So this one, you're just going to have y squared. You're not going to have like y minus 2 squared or x minus 2 squared. So see if you can do question 7. If you have questions on it and you need more instruction, I'll send you another example. So on this problem, the trick here is to think of this as 2 separate triangles, because it is. It's like one little triangle on top of the other. So we have the little triangle on top, that's MQR, and then you have a bigger triangle underneath, which is MNP. And so when you're matching up the sides, keep thinking about that, right? So we have MR is going to match MP. You have MQ is going to match MN. And they tell you that these sides are in proportion because they tell you that MQ is 1/3 of whatever mn is. So this, if I multiplied this side by 1/3, I would get this length. Same thing for MP. This length is 1/3 MP. Well, we also know that angle M is the same angle, right? So what I want you to think about, you said this is side, 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 but we don't know anything about this bottom. What I do know is that I have a side, I have an angle, and I have a side. So I want you to look at these three answers and see which makes the best sense. All right, this problem is kind of similar to the last one. We have to think about the two triangles. Now, the first thing I want you to notice is that the triangles are similar, but the reason you gave that they're similar is not correct. It's not side, 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 because we don't know anything about this bottom side here. That's what we're trying to find, and you did find that. You told me it was 40 feet, which was correct. What I do know, though, is that we have this side that's 14, and it's going to match this side. And then I have this other side, ZY, and that's going to match this side. And then we have this angle here. So this angle right here is our vertical angle, so they're going to be congruent. So what reason are they similar? It's not side, side, side. Okay. So your choices were side, side, side. We know that's not right. You have side, angle, side. And the other one is angle, angle. So of these two, which would be the better choice? All right, this last problem, I'm going to show you an example of setting up a proportion for this angle bisector proportionality. So I'm going to draw a different triangle, and then I'm going to let you redo this problem. So if I had a triangle like this, and my angle is bisected, so I know this is bisected here, and then this is, I'm gonna give this some letters. I'll call that A, B, C. This would be D. And I'm going to say that this is x plus 2. This is x minus 2. I'm going to say that this is 10, and this is 7. All right. So if what the angle bisector proportionality says is that the ratio of these sides, so this side to this side, is going to match the ratio of this split to this split. And so we're going to set this up like this. I'm going to say x plus 2 is to x minus 2 as 10 is to 7. And then I cross multiply and solve that. So I would cross multiply, and I would have, you have to remember that you're going to treat this as a quantity. So these are like in parentheses. So I'm going to have 7 times x plus 2, I got to distribute, is equal to 10 times x minus 2. And so I have 7x plus 14 is 10x minus 20. And then I'm going to move things around. I'm going to subtract 7x, so I'll have 3x minus 20. I'm going to add 20, so this will be 34 equals 3x. And I just pulled this problem out of my head, so it doesn't have nice numbers. So I'm dividing by 3. X is going to be 34 divided by 3, so that's going to be a little more than 11. Let me get the exact amount here. So we have 34 divided by 3. And so it's 11 1/3. I guess I could have done that in my head. Huh? So 11 1/3. So that means that the sides, this would be 11.3. So this would be, if I add 2 to that, so this would be 13 1/3. And then this is going to be 2 less. So this is going to be 9 1/3 would be the length. So I want you to do that for this problem.